Molly May, will you come out to play? Your smile takes the edge off of the day, and you're a light that brightens.
This is Molly May, a Bod Pause Pod and other nice stuff with me, Molly May. Hi, Chibish. I'm Jonathan Van Ness from Queer Eye. I've replaced Chrissy Teigen, who originally replaced Molly May. And today, we're going to talk about how to be absolutely 100% afraid of ghosts, which you probably already are, or not afraid of ghosts. Are you living with ghosts? I'm working on it. Like, as soon as I say this out loud or I think it, I get goosies and chills all over. I'm haunted, and I know that because you hear my voice quiver. I know that because a real professional told me. I have goosebumps all over. It like hurts. And so, yeah, I'm figuring it out. And I'm going to divulge all of that dead baggage. But before I do that, let me tell you some nice things. Like before we get all spooked out and flee, let's like ground ourselves in happiness. Oh, nice. What is nice? My favorite, what I can't take off this week is a bag. And I think it's my first ever like big accessory that is my favorite, what I can't take off. Which is interesting because I'm such a accessories girl. And it's from my favorite boutique, Golden Rule. And it's divine. And they are also my who to follow this week. So we're just going to get two big, gorgeous birds out with one stone. But this bag is a Gorgimo Demilune, I believe is how you say it. Demilune. It's a basket tote made out of durable water hyacinth with ebonized circular wooden handles. Basket bags are hot. This is hot, and I love it a lot. And it's perfect for my yacht and a little afternoon trot down to the dock. Yeah, I'm an artist. Anyway, she's a small bag, but a big bag, a perfect sized tote. And because Erin, who is the owner of Golden Rule, is so perfectly lovely and perfect and thoughtful and perfect, there's a little lavender satchel that I keep in it that she gave me that smells just like a satchel of lavender. Good one, Malls. Anytime that I'm fishing around in it, though, it's just like a joy, and this lavender comes up, and it just makes me feel like I smell like lavender all over because my things smell like lavender all over. It's really lovely. It's a nice little potpourri trick. Put it in your underwear drawer. A little satchel of lavender. Yeah, and life's about all those little joys. Am I right? So the who to follow. Their Instagram handle is at Golden Rule Collective. And, in a world where being a big girl and walking into a brick and mortar store to go shopping for clothes is either A, impossible, or like B, designed to make you feel shitty and like give you self-doubt and make you feel ugly and ginormous and soft. Stores like Golden Rule exist to like itch that shopping scratch in person. So walking in there is like a sanctuary space that was perfectly curated for me. Like I have never felt this way walking into another store. The affirmations and the art are solidly covering the walls of the entire space. It's 2 gorgeous floors. And the home furnishings are that perfect crux of designer meets cozy, meets investment pieces, meets modern, meets I can have this. And there's a gorgeous representation of local women designers in jewelry and in clothing. And walking in the place is like, I mean, it's overwhelmingly, it's like overwhelming joy. Like I have to take 3 laps to see everything before I can like start shopping. And it's a perfect little shop of straight up female joy. It's an inspired space. It's an inspiring space. And I love it forever. Well done, Erin and Golden Rule Collective. And their Instagram is like just these perfect little vignettes of what you get. They've done a really lovely job of bringing that physical space to the digital space. It's yummy. It's inspiring. So with that, the song is Lady You Shot Me by Harmar Superstar, a classic jam, a forever jam by an unseemingly rock star. And if you aren't familiar to this Minneapolis celebrity that is Harmar Superstar, he has the appearance of your local friendly everyday around the corner guy. Short, white, balding, very Minnesota. Like you would walk into a dive bar and he'd be the guy just like bellied up chugging grain belts. And when he opens his mouth, and then when he's on stage, he takes off his pants, and you know how I feel about not wearing pants. Like this guy's after my, he jumps straight into your heart. But like 1 second of listening to him, and you're like, how the fuck is this voice coming out of this dude? And you're just like a guaranteed fan, like no doubt. No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. He's lovely. Oh my God, I'm so spooked. I don't want to get into it. Oh God, okay. So with that like nice layer of niceness under my belt, I'm going to tell you about my hauntings, my fear of ghosts, how I've always felt ghosts, and how I know there are ghosts, and how the fuck I'm dealing with it. So when I was little and I would be home alone, I was afraid to walk down the hallway, like the back hallway of our house that had my bedroom and my parents' bedroom and my brother's bedroom, and then what we called the good bathroom. And it was, like a dark hallway. Mom and Dad had a burgundy walls and like darkening shades, and it was just dark back there. But I was afraid to always go back there because in my head, and I don't know if my siblings told me this or not, but a woman died in my mom and dad's bedroom before they bought it. And so today I called my dad and I was like, hi, I need you to fact check this thing for me, just like real quick, 2 seconds of your time. Did someone die in your bedroom? And he was like, no, not that I know of. Let's see, it would have been 1975. And then like he went on and was like, so you don't know if someone died in the back of the house? And he's like, no, I don't. And I was certain that someone did. So when I was 4, my parents sang in the choir, and the choir would often sing for funerals from a super small town and a really close-knit church community. And when I was 4, I had to go to this funeral with them, and I remember this was the first time I had ever seen a dead body. And it was an elderly woman. It was so spooky, and I can like still see her face. And she was wearing like shimmery, like charity pink colored lipstick. And I had no idea still to this day who that woman was. But that woman became the ghost in mom and dad's bedroom. So like this ghost, this presence had a face for me. And it was just a feeling, right? And like I would imagine that she would like come down the back of the hallway, and I would sit. We had like a big sectional, and whenever I was home alone, I would sit right in the middle of the sectional so that I could have like all eyes on everything, my head on a swivel. Nothing could jump up behind me. So that's where it started. And I never feel ghosts or spirits when I'm with people. It's only ever when I'm alone. So my first studio apartment where I truly lived alone was constantly spooky. And it was nothing like doors are slamming or TVs turning on, but that's what's happening in my house now. I'll get there. But my dreams were possessed. And I remember my grandma died the summer that I moved into my first studio apartment alone. And for weeks after, she'd show up in my dreams, and they were never calming and nice. So one night I sat straight up in my bed, and I said, Grandma, you have to leave me alone. I want to remember your sweet memories. And I didn't have any dreams after that. So Grandma, before she died, was doing this Swedish death cleaning. And I got a lot of her cool stuff. And very specifically, this cool pair of chairs that sat on their sunroom porch. That just became like, I didn't have any furniture. So she was like, those chairs are junk. You can take them. And it was 3 a.m. one night, and my buddy Sarah was over, and I had just finished telling her about the chairs, and I got a phone call. So a little more backstory. I thought that Grandma was coming into my dreams because she's like more Catholic and holy than the Pope, okay? And I thought that Grandma was so mad at me that she could now see that I wasn't going to church, that she was coming to me in my dreams as a way to be like, Molly, girl, sweetheart, lovely, sweet Molly, get your ass to church. I get this phone call like 3:30 a.m. And it was from a phone number that I didn't know. And I answered it because I'm like, okay, I'm just going to nip this in the bud. You should know that my grandma's name was Regina, which is not a common name. So I answer the phone. There is a woman screaming in the phone, Regina! Regina! Like I can't even make this up. So I put it on speakerphone and I'm like, I have chills all over my body right now. Hurts so bad. And I put it on speakerphone so Sarah could hear it. So like I really wasn't alone and like I didn't have to handle that alone. And I was like, I'm sorry, who is this? The woman's name was Faith St. John, calling for her daughter, Regina. And I was like, nope. Like that just hits too many nails on the spooky head for me. I can't do it. 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 The rest of the conversation, I was like, I'm sorry. I don't know how to help you. And I was like in the start of a panic. The rest of the time she talked to me was 100% completely incoherent and mumbling and rambling. And like, we just left it at that. I hung up. The next day, I had like 6 missed phone calls from her and like 3 voicemails, and they all said the same thing. And it was like, hey, you need to stop calling me. Leave me alone. Okay, call me back. I, to this day, still have Faith St. John's phone number saved in my phone. A, so I will never, ever answer it again if she ever calls me. And B, I'm shaking. My hands are shaking. And B, maybe someday I'll get the guts to call it and see what happens. Maybe we'll do it on the pod someday. I can't today because this is just the backstory of how I'm haunted, okay? So faith is a thing. Faith has been a thing in my life. And 8 years I've been living with that like ghosts are real. Here was that proof. Someone was trying to communicate to me in some weird way. It was just like too creepy. So I've lived in 4 apartments since then, since that first studio. And in every one, I have felt the feeling of being watched. And it's not like, and you know, like when you're sitting in like a big cafeteria and you feel someone's eyes on you, and then you turn around and you make eye contact. It's like that kind of feeling right before you make eye contact with someone. So now I'm in this lovely, lovely townhome where we just renewed our lease. You know the one I'm talking about, the one where we don't have any trees. So we renewed the lease. And then I go to this really amazing self-care event last week that my buddy hosted. And there we did like face masks, and basically it was like a communal, like washed our faces together. It's very interesting. But another part of the self-care night was the lights just flickered. I am not kidding. No. Okay. Here I am. I'm here. I'm okay. My hands are so clammy. So there was this aura photographer. And an aura essentially is like, from what I understand it, is like your energy presence, like how you show up in the world. And auras can have colors, and the colors have meaning. And there's this special aura. There's no way to say that and make it sound nice. This aura camera somehow captures your colors. So what happens is after doing it, I'm like, oh, this is just like a mood ring, and it's taking my temperature. Because you sit down and you put your hands, it's like almost like a lie detector test, the way you're like hooked up to stuff. You have your hands on these metal plates, and you're sitting very still on this table. And I wanted to shut my eyes so like I could really focus on my energy and how I wanted to show up in my first aura photograph. And your aura changes, apparently. I learned that it's never the same. And there are also aura like video cameras where you can like see it moving and swirling, like dust bunnies. And so we took my aura photo, and I sit down with this guy who translates it for you. And my reading was gorgeous. So we'll post a picture of my aura. I have like a base of red, which means I kind of have like a guard up. But my aura is mostly golden. And then there is the energy, the energy of my arms is like a greeny blue, and I forget what chakra that is supposed to represent. Like so much information that I couldn't take it in all at one time. But that's that color showing up in my arms is supposedly symbolic that I am some sort of healer, which I was like, oh dang, wow. No, I talk in a microphone for fun, so that's cool. And then I was like, hey, how do you know this? And he just looks at me and he's like, I'm a psychic. And then like shit got really weird for me, and I was like, okay, he just like is like just doesn't know like about color stories and palettes. He's like here to tell me shit. And like everyone that had an aura reading before me was like, oh my God, that was like freaky, so on the spot. Like he knew everything about, you know, my family history and my marriage and X, Y, and Z. So after I'm like, how do you know this? And he's like, well, I'm psychic. He looks at me and he was like, so, who lives in your house with you? And I'm just like, oh, well, my husband and my dog. And he was like, no one else? I was like, no one else. He was like, oh, there are spirits there. And at first I was like, oh, okay, this is just because I said, how do you know this? Like he was coming at me. Then I'm like, this is just validation that I have felt things and I have been watched by dead people my entire life. And like I need to know more. And also I feel like a professional would not just say that to a random woman sitting across from him. Like, oh, you're haunted. But not haunted. So I was like, okay, so like a guardian angel. He was like, no, there are spirits and there are ghosts. And at that point is where shit got way too real for me, and I was way too afraid to ask what's the difference between spirits and ghosts. And I will not look it up because I don't want to know, because he says I have both of them. He also says that some stay in the home and some travel with me. And I'm like, He's like, yep, there are people around you. Not people. There are spirits around you right now. So I'm sitting there and I'm just like trying to hold my shit together. I'm so spooked out. And then he was like, so do you drink? And like while I'm sitting there, I have wine in my hand. And I was like, yes, sir. I became like incredibly polite at that moment. Like, yes, sir, I drink. You drink in your home? Yes. And I'm thinking about all the times like that past week that Johnny and I have practiced shotgunning beers. You know, like, yes, we drink in our home. And then he was like, and do you fight? I'm like, wait, like any other healthy couple in the world, yes, we fight. And then he was like, that's the ghosts. And I'm just like, at this point, like so riddled with anxiety by this all. And he was like, yeah, the energy of the ghosts, they feed off the energy of your fighting. And like, so I've been processing this, and I don't know if the ghosts make us fight or the fighting makes the ghosts, but I'm like, oh my God. So I came home and I was like, this is too fucking spooky. And no one was home. I mean, the dog. I'm exponentially less afraid in the home when the dog is there. Because like, right, animals have those senses, and Rosie has only ever growled in the corner at a thing once. So I get home and I immediately go to my Instagram stories so I don't necessarily feel alone. And I sit outside because I could not stomach going in the house alone. So Rosie and I are sitting outside. I walked around the building like 3 times hoping my neighbors would be outside, and they weren't. So I asked the guy, I was like, so how do I get rid of these ghosts? And he was like, well, I can come over and I can clear it for you. And then I'm like, well, okay, red flag. Then he was like, but you can also do it yourself. I was like, okay, how? And he's like, Sage, and you tell them to get the fuck out. And like verbatim, that's what he said. And I was like, what if I want to keep the good guys? And he was like, get the fuck out. So Johnny comes home. Well, I called him and I was like, hi, you're on your way home, right? Very important things that we need to talk about. We can never fight again because it feeds the ghosts that I have in the house. So we saged and we cedared. So saging, I learned this too, that saging is what you can burn to cleanse the energy and the spirit around you. But cedar is what you're supposed to burn to cleanse like your areas, your spaces, your homes. And so I asked Johnny, I was like, hi, I can't do this alone. I cannot. It's like 10 p.m. It's dark outside. I can handle anything in the day, but as soon as it turns dark, I need you to come in every single room with me, and we're going to burn this cedar in every corner, in every nook and cranny of this house. And I need you to tell them to go away with me. And he did it reluctantly, like through half of the house, like the upstairs. The entire time I was just like, you are not welcome here. And Johnny went, you are not welcome. You are not welcome here. Go away. You are not welcome here. You are not welcome here. It became really melodic and really kind of lovely. So it was an entire family cedering moment. I asked Johnny if I could sage him. He politely refused. I asked the dog if I could sage her because she lives in the house. There's got to be some essences or things that have attached to her. She fucking hated it, but I wafted at her anyway. And so now we're all cleansed, we're all cleared, we're all, feeling good. And the guy told me, he was like, sage all you want, it's like a Band-Aid. And I'm like, I can put a Band-Aid on every day. I can put a Band-Aid on every day. I can do it. And so now I've been sitting with this information and looking back, the TV does come on, but it's never spooky fuzz or like a girl climbing out of a well. It's just like what I attribute to a faulty remote. Okay. And the doors randomly slam, but that's when I have the right formula of windows open. But that's just like good natured airflow. Like, right, that's the kind of shit I need to tell myself, because otherwise I will, I don't know, the lights have been flickering in the studio, so I don't know what to do. So I will continue with a good old-fashioned seancing once a week, and I will continue to sleep with Michael Scott in the office in the background so I don't hear things go bump in the night. But although the other night something did go bump in the night, something fell. Don't know what it was, but it was a loud banging noise. Could have been the neighbors. Doubt it. It scared Johnny enough that he got this Maglite flashlight, put on a robe, and went downstairs and checked it out. He's never, ever done that. So now I feel like because I have said, hey, ghosts, you're here, you're not welcome, now they're like retaliating. And because I doubted the psychic, he's like, I'm going to sick all the bad ones on you, because if ghosts apparently can travel, he probably just got rid of his bad guys and put them on me. But anyway, so you're all invited over all the time, so I'm never alone, so I don't feel it. Okay, bye. Yeah, happy hauntings. Now that I said that out loud, they're really gonna come after me, aren't they? Fucking A. Maybe I'll talk to you later. Bye. And if you got this far in the pod, I'm impressed as fuck and really grateful to have you listening. If you want to know more information about me or the show, check out the show page on matriarchdm.com, where we host all of the What I Can't Take Off, our progressive Spotify playlist from the songs of the week, and obviously the reminder of who to follow for the week, all in a nice little fucking Matriarch Digital Media bow. Theme song is Molly May by Ben Karen. Like, I'll never get over saying that. It's so good, right? Thanks for listening. You're so cute.